Well, hello, and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM News, your twice-weekly dose of the finest 2A propaganda. Fellow dissidents, miscreants, and ne'er-do-wells, the Mesquite, Texas police are holding a gun turn-in event tomorrow.
You know what to do!
Here are the rules for this opportunity, and I swear they might have been written up by somebody who's actually on our side. As usual, no questions asked, gift cards, first come, first served, that's the normal stuff, but they're paying $150 each for ghost guns, and they'll let you turn in 5 of them per person.
Let me do the math here.
That's $750, which buys you an awful lot of bourbon and steaks, or Bass Pro gift cards. Let me bottom line that for you folks. What that really means is that you could whip up a few crappy little guns in your garage, turn them in, and in just a few hours, swap those gift cards over for gift cards at a place that'll let you buy a brand spanking shiny new factory made gun.
Modern problems require modern solutions.
And by the way, it's a welcome departure from the recent tradition of control freaks in refusing to take in the ghost guns for some reason. Thankfully, they'll let you turn them in at this event. You can also get $100 for a handgun if you got an old broken Roscoe that's too ugly to hang on the wall. They do require you to drive up with the guns already unloaded in the trunk of your vehicle, but they didn't put a limit on how many people can be in each car. The event is from 8 to 11 tomorrow morning at the Mesquite Arena at 1818 Rodeo Drive. We'll put the address in the doobly-doo so it's easy to copy and paste. And just in case they try to pull a sneaky on you and change the city's website, I'll also paste the archived link to hold them accountable to their own rules. This one ought to be pretty fruitful, and I'd like to hear your plans on the best ways to min-max it. Don't forget, the most efficient use of your time is going to be to crank out black pipe shotguns in your garage while your printer is squirting. And don't forget to bring cash, what for snatching up all those slick deals when they run out of gift cards.
Give me the cash!
But hey, it would be impossible for us to produce quality 2A propaganda without sponsors, so let's pay some bills. Today's video is sponsored by Franklin Armory.
Franklin Armory, those freedom facilitators who brought you twice the pews with their binary firing system, because it's a scientific fact that bad guys with twice as many holes in them are half as dangerous. So in the unfortunate event you should ever need your firearm for defense, remember, it's math. It can't be wrong.
And by Vortex. Their new Defender line of red dots features a constant-on emitter with no flicker and shake-awake, so it is always ready. The Defender CCW is impressively compact for daily carry, the ST is a bit larger, and the XL is an absolute beast with one of the largest windows available on a micro red dot. And by TNVC. In case you haven't noticed, it's dark half the time on this planet, so unless you got shiny eyes like Riddick, you're gonna need TNVC so you can keep tabs on Man Bear Pig while he's shooting dice with the Wendigos and Skinwalkers in your front yard. Hearing that last story about a gun turn-in scheme in Texas might surprise you if you bought into the idea that Texas is pro-gun or part of the West, but until very recently, Texas was actually pretty anti-gun. They didn't have open carry, let alone permitless carry. You could not carry a loaded long gun in your vehicle. You weren't even allowed to carry in church. They fixed a lot of those bad gun control laws they had, but there are still a few on the books, so the pipe-hitting lawyers at the FPC filed a lawsuit challenging the ban on carrying a gun in sensitive places. For example, it's against the law for a person to have a gun in a restaurant that gets more than half of their revenue from alcohol, even if that person isn't drinking.
And it's dumb and I hate it.
It's also illegal in Texas to carry a gun at a racetrack or a sporting event. So yeah, Texas banned guns at racetracks and bars. You know, the sorts of places a square would never be caught dead. I get the feeling this law was written back before cars had seatbelts and when doctors recommended cigarette brands.
Well, aren't you a pocket full of firecrackers?
Oh yeah? You got something to say about it?
I'll say plenty.
Or do I have it all wrong? Are the gun control laws in Texas perfectly reasonable? Let me know down below. So apparently, the spirit of aloha is giving the finger to the United States Supreme Court. Again,
Hawaii continues to demonstrate they consider themselves to still be ruled by a monarch rather than subject to the Constitution of these United States. They didn't just ignore Bruin, though. This store brand, Jabba the Hutt, is Justice Todd Edens of the Hawaii Supreme Court, who went out of his way to mock the United States Supreme Court, calling the history and tradition standard fuzzy.
Gonna cry? You're gonna cry?
Now, I'm not a lawyer because there are some things I wouldn't do for a Klondike bar, but the standard isn't remotely unclear. If the text covers the behavior, and there was not a similar law around the time the Constitution was ratified, the law in question is unconstitutional. See, if that's not fuzzy for you, then you are smarter than a state Supreme Court judge. Now, if that last part is still fuzzy for you, this next part might blow your mind. The United States Supreme Court is actually more supremer than the Hawaii Supreme Court.
Omega Supreme?
The idea that a lower court judge wouldn't just misinterpret or ignore, but openly ridicule the highest court in the land? I mean, sure, there's no law telling the judge he's not allowed to sit there in court and constantly regurgitate in his mouth a little bit and swallow it again just so he can keep savoring that cannoli from lunchtime.
What?
But should he really have to be told to stop doing it? You buy the man books, you send him to school, and he eats the glue out of the bindings. Friends, when I read the AK guru had been arrested, my heart sank. Thankfully, it turned out it was not actually this gorgeous mother lover. It was some Johnny Kalashnicid who was distributing full, fast, shooty-shoot AKs and other weapons to all the good boys and girls of North Carolina. The FBI executed a search warrant, and in an unusual departure from their normal policy, the 72-year-old suspect was allowed to survive. The feds said they found 20 guns, including a 3-position AK and a homemade whisper pickle. They say he's known locally as the AK Guru, and their totally credible confidential informant said he's seen the accused with Uzis and Papa Shaws and a Ma Deuce.
These are a few of my favorite things.
They say he bragged about having connections to smuggle guns from Europe, and he had sold over 1,000 AKs.
Who told you?
They?
They talk a lot, don't they?
Now, I have to stress these are just accusations, but if there is any weight to them, the obvious conclusion is this man is far more based than you or me can possibly imagine. And if he's out there smuggling surplus commie guns, that should only show you how totally hopeless gun control really is. Besides, trafficking full automagical machine guns is a human right. This man did nothing wrong. If you agree, please comment below. If you're wrong and want to be made fun of, you could also comment below. And now for your moment of Zen. Well, hello, friend. Do you like pews and pew-related things? Would you like to help us keep delivering you American We literally couldn't pay the bills without our sponsors, so do us a solid and get yourself something nice from them. You deserve it. I love you. Fellow dissidents, miscreants, and ne'er-do-wells. That's a female horse that's really good at her job. A ne'er-do-well.